Hey Libras, and welcome to your January 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky, and I'm here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. We're getting out of the energy of 2016, and we're shifting over into 2017. And for a lot of the signs, that's coming with, a lot of new energetic patterns, and, we all have our New Year's resolutions and the new things that we want to accomplish and the old things that we want to let go of, and that has definitely represented itself in the tarot, along with the message to not necessarily be too hard on yourself if you don't find yourself just magically shifting over. It might be more in the March to April time period when we go from Pisces to Aries at the solar level versus Capricorn to Aquarius, when we really feel these big shifts coming on. But anyway, Libras, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at your cards, and we'll see what's coming forward for you guys in specific. A big theme that is coming from the past is this really strong effort to create an appearance that may not be completely authentic. There's a creation of a white picket fence type of artificiality that you're wanting to transcend. Okay, you're tired of it. And this is coming to the forefront in the first week of January. That's the Nine of Wands rooted down by the Ten of Cups. It's like you have this really strong desire, and you're a Venus-ruled sign, so it makes sense. You have a really strong desire to have a very beautiful lifestyle. And I don't even mean that on a carnal level, just for the heck of it. But when we have these beautiful things around us, like nice homes, nice cars, nice, those Venusian things, it is a representation of the stability in our lives, or we hope that it is, at least. Some people really sacrifice all of their security to keep up that image, and that's what you're wanting to get past now, Libras. You want real, authentic stability moving into the new year. Kind of like from your counterpart Taurus. It might be good for some of the Libras out there to take note from any of the Taurus people around you. Maybe you're in a relationship with a Taurus, and you're kind of moving further into their wavelength. Maybe you just entered a relationship with a Taurus, and it's kind of thrown you for a loop because you finally realize that, just because you have that nice car, just because you have that really expensive cosmetics or whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're living a stable lifestyle. Okay, maybe there's something about a relationship with a Taurus for sure coming up, because there's also the Empress, so you've got all this Venus energy coming in. Maybe for the Libras who are married to Taurus, or might have broken up with a Taurus person or a Taurus influenced person. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Taurus sun sign. Maybe now you're asking yourself if the way that you changed your lifestyle for this person, if that was something that really resonated with you at an authentic level. And if it wasn't, you're now taking steps in January, and especially in the first week of January, to change that. You want a lifestyle that is reflective of what is authentic to you at the personal level. And these efforts are really supported right now, Libra, because you're stepping into the second week of January, and you're really coming into a clear realization of what people want from you. Why the people that are in your life are in your life. Maybe there are some people who have been taking advantage of you. Maybe some people that are around you right now aren't there for you when you need them, but you're there for them when they need you. There's something to do with a give and take that is coming forward in your relationships, and you almost feel like a charity service. Some Libras might feel like they're just really there for all the people around them, but who's there for you, Libra? Who's there for you when you are needing assistance, like that you give so freely of yourself. Now is going to be a really good time, stepping into the new year, to assess the status of all of your relationships, friendships, family relationships, partnerships. The first 2 weeks of January, maybe even write it down, do some journaling, maybe just list all the people that are important to you in your life, and take some time to reflect on where those relationships are, what has transpired, what you think the healthiness level of the relationship is, what do you want to provide for this relationship in 2017, where you expect it going, or where you expect it to go, and, is it as healthy or unhealthy as you think it is? Really find some tangible things that have occurred in the relationships and decide how you want to move forward with them. Because there's an aspect of feeling very tired, overextended, potentially taken advantage of, and a lack of compromise present in some of your relationships, Libra. But it's kind of really erratic. It's black and white, because there might be some relationships where it's really great, where maybe some relationships are overcompensating for others. Like, because you have such a good relationship with someone in your life, it makes, since you have them to go to, it makes it easier to take other people's shortcomings, But just imagine if this person left your life that overcompensates, and you were left with these people who haven't been treating you fairly. Like, that would be quite an unfortunate situation. So you need to make sure, even if there is a level of comfortability in your current relationships, like, make sure that there is fairness, because that's what Libra is all about. Your major arcana card is justice, and you are always balancing everything. So do that with your relationships too. Don't let other people take advantage of you just because, like, you have resources to be taken advantage of, That's a major key word. Like, you have a lot of Libras are doing pretty good financially right now. A lot of Libras, and of course that's not going to apply to everybody, a lot of Libras have what they need at the financial level right now. So don't cater to the people who don't in your life, who don't have what they need. Like, just because you have it doesn't mean that other people should take it from you. Like, you have your resources due to your karmic and like hard work, and your karmic experiences and hard work in life. And the people around you who don't have it because of their karmic experiences and their hard work in life, okay? If they'd put in the work karmically and tangibly that you had, Libras, they would be in the same, if not better, or similar situation that you are. So it's not your place to go in and, kind of subtract that universal message for them that the universe might be trying to show them. So just bear that in mind. Because generally in 2017, and especially in January, you may find yourself wanting to be alone more, wanting to go within more. You might not be as available as you were in 2016. Libras, like, were very available and were like coming to everyone's rescue in 2016. And, with Jupiter coming in Libra and being in Libra right now, it's really blessing you guys. Like, it's like scattering candy, you're getting a lot of benevolence and good luck at a collective level. So maybe these people who aren't in as difficult a situation as they were see how benevolent you are, and maybe they kind of exaggerate situations and how bad it is for them, so they can kind of leech off of your benevolence right now. So that amazing bonus that you got, Libras, maybe you can buy them something with it, or maybe you can pay one of their bills because they're struggling so much. Is that the system that you want to set up? I don't think so. Unless, and of course, bear in mind, maybe this person has never done this to you before. Maybe they are in really hard times, and if you feel that you need to help them out, that's one thing. But the problem is when they start, like, knowing how wealthy or how benevolent you are, and they subtract from their own because they know that they could get it more easily by leeching off of you. That's what you don't want to support. Okay? Because even though you may have the resources, you're going to be more unavailable in 2017. There's going to be something that Libras are called to do that's more at an internal, like, universal level, because you guys tend to be quite social. And I don't want to scare any of you guys, because probably a lot of you are coming to this reading, not all of you, thinking, oh, where's my soulmate? Where's my love interest? Because you're Venus and you want that other half. You want that person out there. And some Libras are in, like, committed relationships, which are doing really well for a lot of you guys, I know. But this isn't going to feel uncomfortable, though. Whenever the Hermit comes up, even though it is reversed, okay, it might actually be a little bit uncomfortable for you guys. But the Hermit in general is like wanted solitude. There's some part of you that needs it. There's some part of you that does desire this. Although when it's reversed, it can come on a little bit more suddenly, and there might be some kind of circumstance around that was out of your control. That's what I think about the Hermit reversed, is like, you know that you might need solitude. You might even know that you need to break up with somebody or leave or like separate from a relationship. But potentially the circumstance that causes it isn't what you wanted. Like, maybe you wanted it to be on your terms. You wanted to let the relationship go as long as you wanted, then break up when you wanted. Sometimes when the Hermit reversed comes up, shows that, like, it happened anyway, but not in the way that you wanted it to. So But it's going to be for the best, though, because you've got the Queen of Pentacles rooting that down. So it's like something about your lifestyle comes together, like your eating habits, your healthiness. Maybe you start detoxing. Maybe you have like a lot of toxins built up from an unhealthy relationship. Or sometimes when people get into really happy relationships, they kind of lose track of their health, because you're like, I like to say like happy and fat, because you're like with this person and they may not care about the way that you look, like it's all like at the soul level. So you kind of stop watching your diet, you stop like going to the gym and to the spa and to the Botox lady and all that kind of stuff. But you're now, when you go more within and you're potentially separating from an unhealthy situation for some Libras out there, you start detoxing, you start going back to the spa, you start going back to the gym, you start going back to the Botox lady type of thing. So that's coming forward in the 3rd week of January. And then the 4th week is where things really get real for you guys. It might feel kind of mundane for the first 3 weeks of January, but something very real is happening in the 4th week for sure, and moving into February. This could see some of you moving. This could see some of you, yes, walking away from a relationship, being walked away from. And I don't want to scare you guys. If you're in a happy relationship, don't worry about it. I always say with difficult cards like the 8 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, the Tower, Death, they're a long time coming. These energies are a long time coming. It's something that you sense. It's not usually like a surprise. And if it is, with a little bit of time in the future, you can go back in hindsight and you'll be like, yeah, I totally saw that coming. That was so obvious. So for the Libras who are in happy, committed relationships, do not worry too much about this. This will be playing out in a different way, and I will go into that in a moment. But for the Libras who are in the unhealthy relationships, for you guys who know it's about to end, it's happening in the 4th week of January. Something is being finalized about it in the 4th week of January. One of you are like moving somewhere else. There's like a separation happening. This could be you walking away, Libra. This could be, although it's reversed, so I tend to read the 8 of Cups reversed as someone walking away from you, potentially, but you might be happy for this. You might really want the place to yourself for a while. You want something to yourself, that's for sure, with the Hermit popping up in your reading. And this has probably been a hard decision for both of you, for both parties involved. The 8 of Cups is never an easy decision. It's never like, I know I've got to get out of this and I'm going to do that right now and it's done and over with. You're walking away from something pretty significant. You're walking away from something that in certain aspects were stable. Like the finances may have been stable, or the love might have been stable, but the other part wasn't. Like either the love was stable and the finances weren't, or the finances were stable and the love wasn't stable. There was something that was unstable that made you walk away. But it's a lot to walk away from at the same time. So that's the energy coming forward in the 4th week, and it's always a little bit gruesome, not the funnest thing to be dealing with. But it's rooted down by the Empress, and this to me is kind of acknowledging Jupiter's presence in your 1st house for the Libras, especially the Libra risings. That's most resonating with, most likely. It says that you're protected. The Empress is a benefic energy. It's the essence of Venus, which is your ruling planet, Libras. So you have a very benefic energy. There's an essence of luck around you right now. Same with the Queen of Pentacles and having the 10 of Cups there too. You definitely are protected right now in whatever choice that you make. And it's going to help your self-concept as well, the choices that you make, walking away from things that are unhealthy. This could be new diets, and that's kind of run-of-the-mill for like New Year's resolutions and stuff. But you're definitely getting on something that affects your appearance to other people, whether that be like your physical body or maybe the home that you live in. Like appearances will be focused on in January. And one message that could be coming forward, and this is kind of going against the grain of what I already said, but it's a possibility. You might come into a lot of luck in January, Libras. You might find yourself making a lot more money. Something, maybe a long-term health issue suddenly clears up, and you just have a new glow about yourself, and you feel like unstoppable, and you feel like the world is your oyster almost. And maybe with that newfound confidence, you start to really walk away from things because you have this fulfillment and you don't need loose ends in your life. So you might break up with somebody, you might separate from a friendship, you might decide to move, all these things start coming forward. Don't be too hasty in moving and walking away. Do think about it. if this is something you've been ruminating on for a long time, trust your gut instinct. But do watch out for sudden, like, impulses. Don't be so impulsive in January. Like, if you've been thinking for the last few months, oh, I've got to leave this person, if there are things that are unhealthy, go for it. But if you're, like, happy up to, like, January 14th, then all of a sudden, like, you have this huge shift on January 15th, and like, oh, I just woke up this morning and I hated everything, so I packed my bags, changed my name, and moved to a different country. Like, watch out for thoughts like that, Libras. It could be entering your head. It's kind of an erratic energy that you've stepped into, so do think about that. And I see you guys striving for balance, though, which Libras are always doing. It's part of your journey in this experience, like yes, no, day, night, summer, winter, like all those extremes, like are some things that you deal with every day. But there is something that clicks in January about balance in your life. Like I see like hormone balances, like pH balances, like any kind of like health conditions that have to do with balances in the body. I see that being luckier. I see something about that healing, so that's great. And this could also just be like you're on an energetic level, like your emotions and your sanity and your clarity. Like I see it becoming more consistent and more balanced, so that's a good thing. That's that Six of Pentacles, by the way, with the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. That's just very balancing energy, very wholesome, very stable. I think that anybody who doesn't have good intentions towards you, Libra, will become obvious in January. If there have been people that you feel like are really fake and are like really nice to your face, then not nice behind your back, or have been trying to scheme against you, that's going to become obvious in January. And that may be what you're walking away from. These could be relatives or maybe competition in your career, like coworkers or higher ups. And you're just really putting your fist down and you're saying, if this is what I'm going to have to deal with every day, I'm gone. Like, that's happening for a lot of Libras. And this actually makes people kind of straighten up, to try to think of a way to put it. This makes people say, oh, but we value you so much. We will really work on it. Do not leave because you're an integral part of this system, you know, whether that be with a partnership or relationship or your career. So don't be afraid to, and I don't like guilt trip people like who are really important to you, but don't be afraid to make what you contribute known. Like, don't be afraid to show people what you have contributed, or remind them like how it would be without you. Now, don't guilt trip people. Like, if you're in a relationship, and don't be that person when things suddenly get real and you're like, well, I could just leave and how would you like that? Don't do that. But if things get real, and you'll know when it's appropriate to do, but do remind people what you bring to the table. Because maybe Libras were a little bit of pushovers in 2016 because you guys thought, like, you felt the energy of Jupiter coming in. You felt that there was good luck and benevolence heading your way, so you just kind of kept to yourself and you kind of let people maybe walk on you in 2016. You're over that now. You've reaped some of the good gifts, and you've realized that you didn't get those gifts because you let people walk on you. You got those gifts because you worked hard. So now you're kind of stepping into like the best of both worlds with it all, and you're being more assertive with yourself, and you're showing people what you bring to the table, and you're not accepting for people to walk on you. And you have this more money now, you have nicer things, and people are just like looking at you like, wow, that is somebody I want to be. That is the type of person who is successful, because you're assertive and you have resources to back up what you've provided. It's not even egotistical. It's because you guys aren't like walking around and, you know, telling everybody I'm so successful and that's just me as a person. I didn't have to work for it. It's just, I'm just that great. It's not that type of thing. It's like you have these resources. You might have the really nice car now. You might have the really nice jewelry. You might have nice things, but you don't flaunt them. And Libras are great with that. I envy Libras about their ability to be so refined and poised with their nice things. Libras would never rub their nice things in your face at all. Some other signs can, you know, not many people do that. It's not like that's not something that's in right now. I feel like that's something that's kind of died out generationally. Like, people don't rub too much like their nice things in other people's faces. Anyway, my point being, you guys people will know it. You'll be glowing, you'll be radiating, even if you're not a materialistic person and you live very much within your means. you'll still be radiating this like stable energy where people know that you've got like so much stability in your life, and that will attract, for the single Libras out there, that will attract stable people in. That will attract, because you're setting your intentions to the universe, and keep doing it, Libras. You're setting your intentions to stable, assertive, like clarified energies, like where things are what they seem, you know, where people have a dialogue about what they bring to the table, where there's proof of what they bring to the table, and they don't get more or less than they deserve. And that's just such a great energy to be invoking, you guys. This is probably one of the more positive readings of this month. A lot of signs are struggling. If it didn't resonate for you, be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising. Overall, I see, you know, the first 2 weeks might feel a little bit heavier than this, because there's something that's resolving. There's something negative coming from 2016, from when you guys were a little bit more to yourselves and maybe got walked on. That's resolving itself in the first 2 weeks, but you're going to feel it in the second 2 weeks of January and moving into February, how you're going to feel a shift in your aura, in the type of people that you attract. So I'm really happy for you guys. If this reading was really accurate for you, if it resonated really well, I so appreciate you guys subscribing. I so appreciate your donations, and I appreciate if you would like to book a private reading with me, which should be popping up on this screen any second. I hope that you guys have an amazing month, and I will see you with some exciting things coming hopefully later in this month or in February. So I will see you guys later. Bye.